Yo, what's up everybody, welcome back to another video. I'm Bobo. In this video I'll be giving you guys some tips on your builds and stats, just what you guys should be investing in for every single type of build inside the game. If you guys are wondering, my experience on this game, I'll pop up my hours right now. You guys can see, I've played the game a lot. But yeah, anyways, we'll talk about the builds for basically everything. Starting it off, I will talk about sword builds, and then we'll go into fist because they are really similar, and then we'll go inside wand. But yeah, starting off with fist builds or sword builds, I'll just give you guys the build that I'm doing, because I believe this is like the best, at least stat wise, like one of the better ones that you can go. Obviously it has RNG with your magic and stuff like that. But yeah, this is what I am personally doing, which is going to be 100 durability, which I farmed first just so I can have a lot of HP. And then you put 50 stamina. This is just so you can use some more moves. And then, if you guys don't know, the way magic transfer works is that you have to put some into muscles and magic power for the scaling to be at 100%. So you just split these like half-half. So pretty much what you do here is, I don't even know how much skills you'll have remaining. I think you get 425. So whatever that is, you just put in here, split them up. And then that's pretty much your build. If you have any left over, or let's say you get 2 mark or something and you're watching this at a later time, I would put those extra stats into magic power just so you do more damage. They could go into stamina though, because the stamina scaling does kind of suck. If he ends up buffing the stamina scaling, then you might not even need 50 into it as well. But that is pretty much the only build that I'll recommend for sword. Just because it's not like fist, where like there's a chance that you get muscle magic and then you can just go full muscles. It doesn't really have a magic like that. Unless if partisan is like that, then you'll have to use the stat reset and change that. But yeah, that is pretty much one of the only builds that I recommend. It's going to be 100 in durability, 50 stamina, and then these two split up for magic transfer. Like I said, this build is pretty crazy because you get all of these muscle skills, including Tatsumaki Kick, which is literally just free combo sender, and then you get magic transfer, which does insane damage, and then you get mana shield, which can withstand 25 damage, which is actually pretty good because, for example, I'm using water, and that would survive my tsunami right here. So that is a pretty good skill. And then you would also get magic whip, which once again is going to be another combo extender. With this build, you also get invoked life and invoked stamina. You just wouldn't have anything inside agility. So now I'll talk about agility and why I didn't mention it at all. And the reason for that is because it's just simply not good. You'll become way too reliant on agility if you do know agility. And the reason for this is pretty much every single agility user I've ever seen just instantly runs from a fight. And you can't use it to actually like help you in the fight. This move, in theory, yeah, it helps you inside a fight, but you have to put 100 agility in. Which first of all already isn't worth it, because I would much rather have 100 into durability than 100 into agility. And this move really isn't that good. You teleport behind them, and as long as like if you teleport behind anyone with like not a turtle reaction speed, they're just gonna kill you. Like they'll hit you, combo you, because right after you TP you can't even have one. So that's why I personally don't like this. So yeah, that's the only time I talked about agility throughout this whole video, because I just don't like the skill. I don't think it's good, and I don't think there's a singular reason to use it. So yeah, even for wand, even for fist, there's no reason to use it. It's just not good. But moving on, we have fist builds, which is basically the same thing. For 99% of fist builds, you're gonna want to run the same thing. Unless if you have muscles magic, and then you just put everything inside muscles. And that should be pretty obvious why, and that's because muscle magic does scale off of muscles instead of magic. So you do want to go a full muscles build if you are going fists and like muscles magic, because there's no reason to go magic power, as it won't help you at all. But yeah, now moving on to wand builds. Wand builds are interesting. Because you have so many options with wand, because it is the strongest weapon right now, but at the same time you almost have no options with wand. So it's kind of like 50-50. What you could do, you could go a lot in stamina, like maybe 75 compared to the 50 on other builds, and then maybe a little bit less durability and just a bunch of magic power. You definitely want a lot of magic power. Now your M1s do scale off muscle, so you want a little bit into muscle, maybe like 50, but I wouldn't go crazy like spending a lot. Most of your stuff should be in magic power, because when you're using wand, your main thing is gonna be your abilities, which first of all are like broken as hell, and the other thing is going to be your M2, because your M2 is very, very strong on wand. But yeah, that is like what I would go for wand. Now we're going to talk about non-magics and non-stats, and just things that can make your build better. So the first thing that I want to talk about is going to be your race. Your race is actually pretty important in this game. The reason for that is because human is terrible. I know 99% of you guys watching this video are going to have human, but if you do and you have some Robux and you want a different race, I would recommend to reroll. Some good races right now are going to be demon, dark elf. This is dark elf, and it is by far my favorite race inside the whole game. Not only do I like how it looks, but the most important part about it is that it gives 10% magic reduction, damage reduction, which is like very insane. Scaled that with my chest piece as well. Now I have 20%, total damage reduction to magic. So that's why I think it's a very good one. Orc is pretty good as well, because it reduces your it basically does the same thing but for muscle. So Orc is decent. Dark Elf is good. Normal Elf isn't terrible, but it's not great. Demon's good. Basically anything non-human is good, and human's like alright, but as to reroll, all that you get is extra money when you drip someone, which is not a good skill at all, because it doesn't help you in the actual game. But yeah, that's pretty much everything that you need to know about builds. The only other thing is gonna be your passive or the traits. For this, I basically recommend just to only go magical. Unless if you, like I said, you spin for muscle and you're doing a muscle fist build, then I would recommend whatever one gives you extra muscle damage. But for most builds, magical is going to be the trait that you guys are going to want to go. Durable, I heard isn't terrible, because it gives you a little bit more HP. But I always recommend magical, because it just buffs your damage on pretty much everything. If you're running a magic transfer build, you do 10% more damage like flat out, which is just a very good thing. So yeah, once again, trait, I recommend to go magical. For sword builds, I recommend to go split between muscle and magic power with 100 durability and 50 stamina. For fist, this is more than likely going to be the build that you're going to want to run as well, except for some occasions, if you get muscle magic, then you just go all muscle. And then wand is pretty much just a lot into magic power and a lot into stamina, because you're gonna need it. But yeah, that's pretty much gonna be the end of the video. Races, I recommend Dark Elf or Demon. Those are like the two best ones inside the game right now. But what build do I actually recommend you guys to run? Really, I would just take whatever you guys want from this video and just do it. There's not really a bad build inside this game. Every single magic is usable. So it really just depends on you. Magics that I recommend you guys to go, I will have a tier list, but the ones that I know off of my head that I like the most is gonna be water. That's why I use water. It's just a very good one, and I'll explain this on my tier list why I think water is really good. Muscles is also, it's muscle, so not much to really say there. And then gravity is also pretty good. But yeah, that's gonna be the end of this video. If you guys enjoyed, like, subscribe, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.